Welcome to Elite Podcasts with your host, Mighty RX. Hello, and welcome to Elite Podcasts. I'll be your host, Max Paul, owner of the Florida Storm. In Elite Podcasts, we'll be talking to the leaders of the SFL, the owners, the coaches, front office staff, broadcasters, etc., to hopefully introduce, inform, and give you unprecedented access. This off-season, we're going to focus on owners. This program will be running in the off-season as it's meant to tide us over until the regular season begins. This is a project I've been meaning to undertake for a while, and I'm hoping you enjoy the results. Enough of my rambling. Let's get to the good stuff. Welcome to episode 2 of the Elite Podcast. Today, I am in some great company. I have the co-owners of the Charleston Predators. We have Jackson Brown to my right, your left. To the other side, we got Taylor Derryberry, also known as Johnny Bravo, shutdown corner, Hall of Fame linebacker, like all defense all the time. No wonder why their defense is so good. So gentlemen, it's nice to have y'all on. Taylor, if you want to say something, say hi to the folks at home.
What's up, everybody? It's good. This is the other side of Charleston ownership.
Jackson, you want to say hi to the folks at home?
Hey guys, it's me, Jack Brown. You've probably heard my voice several dozen times. If you've watched SFL games long enough, I'm sure you've come across one of my broadcasts. I'm the other guy who owns Charleston, the other guy. Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Gentlemen, I'm going to give y'all a minute. Let's start with Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo, how'd you get into the league? How'd you hear about the SFL?
It was on the front page of Twitch when the championship game was going on. And it was season 12. That may have been, were y'all in the championship?
Yes.
Season 12?
We played Denver that season, yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, it would have been 11, but I'm sure you were still there as well.
We played Jacksonville. Which was Tallahassee at that time, yes.
Yeah, I saw it on the front page of Twitch, just getting on to see what was on Twitch, and I was like, what's this? And I looked into it, and I was like, I kind of put it on the back burner. I joined the Discord, but I wasn't real sure what all was going on.
Yeah.
And then season 12 started, and I think I seen it on the front page of Twitch again, and I was like, oh, man, I need to join that. Then I joined, and we had the chat ranking. You had to keep your ranking up to get brought in on a team if someone left in the middle of the season. And at the time, Indianapolis, I messaged everybody, all the owners.
I remember. I still got the message up in our group. In our DM. I still got it up.
And the co-owner of Indianapolis got a hold of me, Richards, and said he had an opening and wanted to know if I'd be interested. And I said, sure. And that's how it all started. And I've been with this franchise ever since.
Nice. Now, Jack, you go way back. You want to tell people at home how'd you get involved in the league? Like, how you first caught wind, and then when you got into the league.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to learn the Jack Brown deep lore, I had gotten into the league. I was scouring through YouTube one night, and I had gotten a recommendation for. Oh man, I don't know how many people know this even exists. It had to have been like 2015 when they did like that tour of the league's HQ or something. It was like basically, I don't even know how to describe the video. It was basically like Cam kind of did a little like behind the curtain view of the league.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And of all the teams at the time. And I remember seeing that, and I was very intrigued by the concept. And so then I clicked on the channel, and I was like, oh, this thing probably hasn't uploaded a video in like 2 years or whatever. I saw that it was in the middle of a season 9 to be exact. And so from there, I joined the Discord, got my first contact from Ramos Lynn of Mexico City. And then I joined on for them because they were the first team to message me. I was actually originally going to be a tight end until the guy who I was set to replace, Ryan Moxon, logged on to Discord like a day or two before I was set to replace him. Because back then, the rules were very different. We didn't even have progression at the time. Basically, what it was a player had to be offline for, I think it was a month before you could get signed to a contract.
Yes, before they could be replaced, yep.
Yeah, and so he logged on like 2 days before. So in turn, I had to quickly fall back to linebacker. I replaced Chase Story. And, well, the rest of it, as they say, is his story.
There you go.
Got him.
Terrible pun, but that's okay. I'll let you slide, Jack. Terrible pun.
At least I'm aware it's bad.
So we're about to get to some very serious matters. Tell the people at home, whomever wants to start first, how did y'all become co-owners of the Predators?
I guess I'll start first. I mean, for me at least, when I first came to Charleston in season 13, the team had just relocated from Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And I was a free agent during that off season, and I remember I was getting offers from everywhere. But I ended up going to Charleston with kind of like a small inkling that I wanted to do front office work. But my first season there, I didn't do any front office work. Mm-hmm. So then starting in season 14, after we kind of went on a hiring spree within the team, it also is actually what brought Taylor onto the front office. I was appointed as the director of communications. So I worked there for a few years, did a season of coaching in SFLM.
Okay.
And I had even tried to do an expansion bid for season 16.
I remember that.
With the Detroit Blaze, where that finished 4th. I think it was 8 or 9 candidates or something like that.
There was ridiculous the amount of candidates, because I remember we had a lengthy conversation about it, and I kind of told you what I was kind of hearing as to what you needed to do to kind of build up your resume. So the next time you tried, it would be a more not only a valiant effort, but a more successful one as well.
Yeah, but I mean, still, getting right up there and getting that close, it's, I mean, for a first time ownership bid, that was not bad.
That's not bad
as some
at all.
could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course another season goes by. Allen just decided that he was kind of, his time in the league had come to its conclusion, and so he sold the team to Johnny and I. And while it was certainly a very roundabout way of getting into the owner's room, I got in. So.
That's all that matters. As of June 24th of this year, of this Lord's year of 2021, we're introduced into the owner channel. The article dropped that, the ownership changed hands, and now we have 2 handsome young men running the Charleston Predators. So that's always what's good. So now I'd like to ask y'all about how exactly is the Predators run? Because though it was, it was a quick turnaround, at least to us, because we did not see this coming. It was a quick enough turnaround, but y'all kept the ship steady, and y'all were able to have a successful season, able to make the playoffs, and so on and so forth. So how does the hierarchy work in Charleston? Taylor, if you'd like to explain how it works, who does who? You're the defensive coordinator. I know that, because I gave you your flowers, and you deserve the flowers, because you did one heck of a job. You did one heck of a job this season. But besides you running the defense, how does that work? Are you more on the field and Jack's more off the field? And who else is involved in the leadership positions of Charleston?
Yeah, it's 50-50 ownership. So any decisions that are made, it starts with me and Jack, and we'll discuss anything from there, and then working our way down. Jack is still doing the social media stuff, working with Corey Menor. He's doing our social media and Twitter and making videos and stuff like that. And him and Jack are working on that. And then as of coaching and all that, that's me and Jacob, and working for getting whatever we need to draft, free agents, all that. Jacob's handling a lot of that, but it goes through me looking at it and then approving it and making sure that it's all good. He's the head coach, but he does the offense. I do the defense, and we just kind of do our own thing. But anything like an overview, it goes through me and Jack, and me and him discuss on what needs to be approved and disapproved and what we want to do with the team.
Okay, good stuff. Now, when you say Jacob, you're speaking of Jacob Clear. I just want to make sure
Jacob Clear.
Jacob Clear, awesome. And he did this is your first season. This was your first season when y'all moved away from that ace set where, that 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back. Y'all went more, I won't say traditional, but one that is more utilized league wide with that 3 wide receiver, tight end, running back kind of deal. And you did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? The offense held its own, and then the defense, what the defense does, because Taylor said, I got this, dog. You don't go. So, gentlemen, now I'm about to ask y'all a question now. You could either keep it only for this season as owners of Charleston, because this is a brand new challenge for both of you that you have taken on and succeeded admirably, at least to me. But your most frustrating moment being part of the league, be it ownership for this season or as a player in the prior seasons. Jack, if you'd like to start for what was your most frustrating moment as maybe a player, maybe an announcer, maybe as an owner this season, if you'd like to share.
Oh, that's actually kind of an interesting question to ask me, because I've been here so long that there have been like so many moments. This is actually going to go back and something that you will also remember. Right after season 10, when we had wrapped up the podcast, I remember we were trying to like figure out really what to do, and then everything just kind of fell apart real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you probably remember that time. I remember I was frustrated over that because it was like trying to figure out then where to put things back together. We did actually manage to assemble a crew for season 11.
I remember
and that. Yeah, with myself, Ramos, Ryan Michaels, and Rob Roby.
It was all ours. Yep.
yeah, and then there's me. I jokingly referred to that as the round table because it was very funny to me at the time. But yeah, like that was probably the most frustrating moment, was just kind of having everything like collapse, especially since it was so sudden. I remember James Richards just like sent a message in our group DM for the podcast, and it was like, oh crap, what do we do from here? Where are we going? But we did manage to right the ship. And well, I think the season 11 podcast, while it was very much a different product from season 10,
yes,
I honestly enjoyed it much more in terms of like the recording process, having fun with the guys, and obviously
it wasn't as structured. That's what I'm saying. No. You had a little more freedom to be yourself and kind of be able to bounce things off everybody. Because I remember hearing that and during the podcast how it was a little more free flowing because of the less, not as much structure, which allowed personalities to shine through a little more.
Yeah, and it allowed me to bash on the San Francisco Sharks whenever I felt like it. Yeah, which I mean, it was strange because Rob Roby was the quarterback for the team at the time. Then he went to London for a few years, and now he runs the RFL. So hey, he's clearly making moves.
Oh, really? That's where he's at. I did not know he pivoted over there. I hadn't checked him out in a while. So
yeah, he was like one of the head honchos. I think I talked to him like a year ago about it.
Okay.
I technically have a player in that league, but I haven't paid attention in so long.
Understood. I could see with how busy you are, Mr. College student, and with all the other duties. Yeah, you could. Right. Yeah, that's understandable. So, Johnny Bravo, I will ask that question to you.
Well, for me, the most.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, the most frustrating thing for me was just I wanted to have a competitive team. I want to be competitive in the league. And the past few seasons with Alan, our game plan was, we need to get people that are going to stick around. And that was my thing that I did. And we were good. I don't even remember which season that was. We made it to the playoffs. I think that was 14. And the next two seasons we went to that double tight end and we weren't really that well or that good. And I just wanted to be competitive, and it was frustrating getting people to stay. Because, we're telling people we need you to, we want people that are going to stay with the team and we can build you. And we just weren't producing. We weren't able to get into the playoffs for these players that we have that have been here for multiple seasons. We've had players here for a long time. And so it was really good for us to be able to make it to the second round of the playoffs, not just make the playoffs and then leave, but make it to the second round. And I was really happy for our players that have been here for multiple seasons, 4, 5, 6 seasons.
That's what's up. So now you kind of touched on it, so I'm gonna have you keep going. What has been your most rewarding moment since you've been involved with the league, be it ownership, on the field as a player, off the field, contributing in any way, shape, form? Go ahead, Johnny.
For me, it would be being able to become part owner of this team the team that I've been with for the entire time I've been, since season 12 that I've been in the SFL. It's pretty cool to work my way up with the same time that Jack got the social media director of communications. I became the GM. So we both have had office positions in the team working behind the scenes. And so now we're owners. That's really cool. Another thing is, like I say, for the players, I want to say that aside from our aside from our 3 rookies that we had this last season, the minimum was 5 seasons. I think once you look down, like the players across the team was 5 seasons minimum that have been with the team. So I was really happy to be able to make it to the second round of the playoffs and almost keep going a little bit further. But I was happy for the people that have been around that have been, give us a chance, man. Give us a chance. Let us build. We'll produce for y'all. So
good and good. And just and the patience pays off. Especially when you see their inroads being made, you see success, and it's one of those. Now you have for lack of a better term, leeway, right? You've garnered credit because now we got some new guys running the show. Like, huh? Who's running that show? And then right, but then as the season goes on, it's these boys look like they know what they're doing over there. Okay, and now because you have saying y'all have explored territory never explored before by Charleston. Now you have credit where players are more accepting of things that you might bring to them or strategies you might bring. Like, hey, you know what? This season we're gonna try this way. It'll work out in the end. Just you gotta trust me for now. I'm like, you know what? Because you did that last season and we succeeded as the most that we've ever. I'm with you, Coach. I'm with you, Jack. Yeah. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's kind of what you get from success. Jack, been around forever and a day. What has been your most rewarding moment since you've been in the league?
Honestly, I would also point to a time this season, and I know it's like an exact moment that I can point to. So going into week 12 of this season, we were in a situation where it was win and you're in, right? And we were playing a team that we had never beaten before, Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville, they were on a down year this year, but honestly, you never take a team lightly, especially
it's still Jacksonville. It's still Jacksonville.
Yeah, you never want to take them lightly, especially since they have Marcus Dunhill at quarterback, and it's still, like, apart from CeCe this year, it was a lot of the same guys who have been there, for years and years and years. And so kickoff was there. I think I was sitting down, like, in my chair, also getting ready to broadcast later in that day. And we were just murdering them, like touchdown. And then we were so far in the lead. I was like, oh gosh, we're going to be in the playoffs. One moment.
Oh, little bro's there.
Yeah, my little brothers are. Yeah, my little siblings are also down here. And my brother is wearing a Michigan State sweater in a U of M household. How's that?
Yeah, after you went and put it on Ohio State, you don't wear that. You don't wear that red. You don't wear that green and white. What are you doing?
One moment.
No problem. So while he's taking a quick break, let's talk strategy. Seeing that you're the coach, while he's taking. Oh, he's back already. Good grief, that was quick.
Don't worry, just tell them to leave. It's wonderful. Anyways, point being, edit that out. So when it comes to that moment, I remember when the clock hit 0, we won 45-10, and announcing live on national TV that Charleston had made the playoffs. It just felt like such a payoff for everything that had happened throughout my career up until that point.
Yeah.
Like it was satisfying.
Yes,
I never felt more satisfied
I get it because it's that feeling of you know what, we belong. I know that like during the season when things are tough, you're like, man, am I really cut for this? Okay, now I'm going to speak about Storm for a little minute. Yes, we have a franchise that's been very good for quite a while, but we had some. When we first moved to Florida, that season we don't like to talk about. And then the following season when we started 0-3, yeah, it'd be like, do I still know what I'm doing? Do I belong on the field with the likes of Denver, Baltimore, heck, Charleston, when they kicked our teeth in week 11 of season 15?
15? Yeah, I think it was 15.
Yes, week 11 of season 15 where we threw a gazillion picks. And it's like, man, do I know what I'm doing? Right. So but then to hear that, hey, them boys sewed up a seed. They locked up a spot in the playoffs. Like, yeah, you know what? I do belong. Yeah. Can't tell me I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I hear you loud and clear, Jack, because even I have those moments. And yes, so again, congratulations on a very successful season 17 for the Charleston Predators. Can't wait to see what 18 and beyond holds. So now, for the people at home who don't know, we're in the crux of owners meetings. So we got some new rules that we're debating, trying to see here, there, everywhere, whether they make sense, whether they don't make sense, if they need to be tinkered, tailored, and all that good stuff. So I say all that to say this: there was one rule that was being talked about that I want to bring up to our panel and have a conversation. There's a strong belief held by a few that Route God, the animation Route God, is overpowered. Seeing that I'm a defensive guy, Johnny's a defensive guy, Jack's a defensive guy, seeing that he's played linebacker for what it feels like forever, we're going to have a conversation about, do we believe that Route God is OP? I personally do not believe it's overpowered. There are ways to mitigate the animation. There are ways to slow down or take away certain things. So yes, it does allow the receiver to be able to run routes better, crisper, so that way the way it's designed on the play sheet is the way it looks on the field, or at least to the best of their ability, depending on what the defense does to hamper said route. But to say that something is overpowered to me is to say that it is to the point where it cannot be contained. It cannot be, this is the Obama hands, I'm sorry. It cannot be contained and it cannot be stopped. And I do not believe Route God is in such ilk or is so powerful, for lack of a better term, that it has to be either neutered or taken away. That's my thoughts. Johnny, you ran the defense in Charleston. You ran into your fair share of teams. I love to throw the ball and receivers that have Route God. What have you ran into and what say you?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't see it being overpowered. I think it's just, you just need to know which plays work and how to defend it. And I think a lot of it depends on how much time people have to sim and see how things work out. But you can stop it. You just got to have the right things in there, and you just got to understand it. And I mean, I know you feel the same way. I don't want to give too much away, you know, because I see things out there that I watch teams and it's basic stuff. And it's like, I can't believe they're doing that, man. Yeah. I can't believe that they can't see.
Yeah.
That,
yes.
You know? So, yes. I mean, all I can say is it can be stopped. It's not overpowered.
Okay.
So
Jackson, you got any input on this?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a similar thing, right? Because I come from a lot of like trading card games and stuff like that. Like, stuff gets banned when it clearly just destroys a game and it obviously can't be stopped. You know, to the point where, again, it'll just, with even minimal skill, it'll destroy the game. Mm-hmm. Route God, you still got to work with. You know, you look over any team on the SFL website or on the portal, right? You go to any team, even the worst of the worst teams, pretty much all their receivers will have Route God. That's like correct. Looking over this one team that finished towards the bottom of the league, they have, I think it's 4 eligible, 3 receivers and a tight end.
Yes.
Every single one has Route God. Now, does that mean that it's a standard? Sure. But you can still mitigate it. Just because something is a competitive standard doesn't mean that it is overpowering and crushing. Most halfbacks and fullbacks in the league have Workhorse. And Workhorse, once Workhorse kicks in, it just gets crazy, you know, with the running back, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone would be calling for banning Workhorse for the league's running backs. So it's like the same principle applies for that or any other, you know, animation that's like a competitive standard for the league.
Yeah. So again, I'll say, to me, it's not overpowered, because you still got DBs that got to get in the way. You still got a quarterback that got to throw the ball accurately. You still got an O-line that got to protect the quarterback, so you got the time to throw it accurately to the receiver that got to beat the DB. It's way too many mitigating factors. Now, I understand that there are some teams that have been more successful because the receivers have the animation. Now, and there, as you explained, Jack, there are some some teams that have the animation and aren't as successful with it. So is it the animation or is it the coaching? And we'll leave that one. We will leave that one there.
Coaching.
We'll leave that one to the analysts who will not get scolded at in the owner's room.
Gentlemen, if you don't mind sharing what you do off the field when you're not a co-owner of the Charleston Predators of the Simulation Football League, Jack, what do you do when you're not doing commentary or running social media or you know what I'm saying? What do you do off the field?
Yeah, well, right now, for me at least, I am a college student. I go to community college at this current moment. Cheaper cost, all that, and really, when that takes up so much of your time, you only really have enough time for one hobby. But obviously, for me, it's kept me busy. It's kept me stimulated academically, especially since, oh man, going back to in-person classes after a year and a half of pretty much all online school.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Let me just say, the Zoom app on my laptop has gotten a lot more of a workload than I ever expected it to. Yeah, and I mean, really beyond that, I mostly just, when I do have downtime, I just sit down here at my desk, fire up my Xbox next to me, play some video games. I've been playing a fair bit of Halo Infinite since that dropped, and oh boy, that's been a good game. I've been pleasantly surprised with how good it's been. And yeah, beyond that, I mean, that takes up probably the majority of my life. I do other stuff here and there. I've done volunteer work, done some broader social stuff. I'm a busy boy. I'm a busy boy at 19.
Fair enough. And Johnny Bravo, what do you do when you're not locking receivers up on the field? You know what I'm saying? And then when you're not having to run things, when you're not having to run things behind the scenes in Charleston, what do you do off the field?
I'm a conductor, locomotive engineer for the railroad. I've been doing that for 10 years. Yeah. And that keeps me pretty busy. I've been busy here lately with it because we've been, just like everywhere else, short-staffed. The company went through running longer trains and laid off people, and now we need people, and there's people aren't there. So, so it's kind of they shot themselves in the foot. But I mean, it's kept me busy. But outside of that, when I'm not doing that, I mean, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm out working the road, taking a train from point A to point B, I'm on call all the time. I'm on call 24/7. Currently right now I'm on a regular job to where I'm scheduled to go in 5 days a week with 2 days off.
Okay.
So it all kind of depends on what's going on, what I want to bid on, and what I can hold as with my seniority. Outside of that, it's SFL. During the SFL season, especially this last season with coaching, it's been SFL. But if off season or spare time playing games, I play guitar, bass, playing music.
Okay.
Listening to music, watching TV, going fishing, and just chilling out, man.
That's what's up. Now, you're actually the guy in the train that's making sure the train goes where it's supposed to go right now. You're not.
Yeah. It's kind of, the railroad's difficult to explain, but you come in as a conductor is how you hire in, and then based on your seniority, they have training classes to become a locomotive engineer. And when you have enough seniority to do that, you bid on it, and then you go through 6 months of training to do that. And then if they don't need you as a locomotive engineer, you go back to a conductor. So they try to plan for in the future. And I've been ran a train for a year, and then I got cut back when they started running these longer trains because they didn't need as many people, and then COVID. So right now, currently, I'm a conductor. But yeah, when out on the road, when I'm a locomotive engineer, I'm driving it, blowing the horn. They've actually got it set up now where they pretty much run themselves, all autopilot. But on the conductor side, on the train, you're on the other side with the engineer, and it's just keeping up with speed restrictions on the track, or if you got to get out and make along the way, you may have to set out and pick up cars. So then the conductor will get down and do all the groundwork, and the engineer will run the train.
So this is more commercial for freight as opposed to public transit kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Gentlemen, this is a free time of the show. Y'all got questions for me? This is the time to ask the questions. What y'all got?
Well, I know Taylor has a question he's always been wanting to ask you.
Do you have any coaching? You got any coaching tips for me you can give me?
That's kind of vague. You need to be a little more, specific about what exactly you're looking for.
Give me some of them offensive tips, man.
Like you're be more specific. What are you looking for? What are you looking to do?
I don't know. I want to hear from a coach that's been able to win 3 times, 3 seasons in a row, win 3 championships in a row, and always be a contender. When people see Florida, see the Storm, they're always like, yeah, when they look on the who you got, that's who they're hitting, man. So I just want to hear if you were to give any kind of tip to somebody who is starting out coaching or any kind of anything that could help.
Okay. First things first. If you're gonna coach, know your personnel. KYP. This I used to run the streets. No, not like that. But I used to run the streets. I used to hoop a lot everywhere. Right. I'm in South Florida and West Palm and Dade. If it was a basketball game going on, I'm there. It's gonna be a long winding road, but I'm gonna get to my point. So wherever I use, like if Sunday night I'm hooping here, Monday night we there, Tuesday night. So it was basically if I wasn't working and hanging out with the wife who was the girlfriend at the time, I was hooping, right? And I ain't number 5, 6.5 on a good day. So I used to so I ran point. So I did my thing. So I'm creating offense, creating shots for everybody. And KYP was a saying that at least I don't know if we came up with it, but we'd be on the court with whoever I used to brought down to hoop with me. KYP, right, is know your personnel. If you got a dude that can't shoot 3 sitting in the corner, you're not gonna pass him the ball in the corner because he can't do nothing with it, right? If you got a dude that can't dribble, you ain't gonna have him bring the ball up court because he's gonna dribble the ball off his foot, off his leg, off his knee. That's a turnover, right? So that KYP, know your personnel. How do I translate that to SFL terms, right? Okay. If you got a power back, you ain't gonna be running outside stretches because he might not be able to get to the edge before the linebackers and safeties clean him up. You're gonna run him up the gut, where he's more successful. If you got a finesse back, you ain't gonna be running him up the gut, at least not on a regular basis. Why? Because he's fast, so you're gonna use his speed at his advantage. If you got big receivers, use their height. So you're gonna have some 50-50 balls where there's a chance for the defense might be able to get it, but there's a chance your offense might be able to get it. Run the numbers if it makes sense to you. Put the play in the playbook for that week if it seems advantageous, right? If your quarterback got the arm, have some big time plays in your playbook. If the quarterback ain't got the arm, don't try to check it deep. You can't get it there, right? So KY, understand your personnel. If you believe in strong D lines, okay, then go get you some defensive linemen and then make sure that they can do what you expect them to do. That means put them on the field in practice mode, put them on the field during scrimmages, and make sure they're able to either get the pressure or stop the run the way you want it to. Don't wait till game day to try to figure it out and be like, APF. It's not APF. It's because you didn't do your homework. So again, know your personnel. If you got 6 DBs, right, but you're stuck in 4-3 the whole game, guess what? You didn't do your due diligence because you're now putting your money on the field. KYP, know your personnel. If you don't have a kicker, you can't get mad when he's missing field goals because you don't got a kicker. KYP, know your personnel. So that's it. It's simple. KYP, you can take that to the grave because that applies to business as well, right? Because you're a conductor. You're not going to put a rookie behind a train. Why? KYP, know your personnel. He's going to run the train straight into an abyss. That's money down the drain. Can't do that, right? Same deal. Yep. Jack, you've had, Jack, you've had groups in college, study groups.
Yes.
You've had assignments in groups. Every group got that one person that refuses to do the work until the last second. KYP, you're not going to give them the most important assignment to do because that's slack. At the last second, what I'm supposed to be doing? What I'm supposed to be turning in? Oh, it's tomorrow? Oh my, KYP, know your personnel. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how it is, especially my advertising class this semester.
KYP, know your personnel. The simplest thing, right? You could apply it to every walk in life, but it's simple. So do your due diligence. If you know the roster build you want to have for next season, or you have intimation of what you want it to be, put it on the field. I'm the type, throughout the season, I saved all my playbooks from week 1 to the time we get our teeth kicked in out of the playoffs or at the end of the regular season. And I will go back to test whatever roster build I think to use for the following season against the ones we played this season to see if it works. And then if it works, great, we're going with it. If it doesn't work, I might tinker to see why it didn't. And if it still doesn't work, then guess what? We ain't doing it because it's not going to work. That's that simple.
I mean, you've been a guy who's been known to like kind of go with like wacky out there concepts. I mean, I remember back in the day when there was like more limited personnels on the field. The Alaska Storm 3-peat was one of the main components of it. Was y'all never had a halfback, or you had a fullback?
We had
you had a fullback in season 12.
We had one season without anybody in the backfield, no halfback, no fullback. We had one season with just a fullback. We had one season with both running back and fullback. Now that I understand how to edit videos, because I'm a podcaster now and all that good stuff, I might go back and revisit all the roster reveals, because every off season, at least until season 13, during the roster reveal, like, what are they doing? 2 tight ends? Huh? No running backs, no fullback. Are they know what they're doing over there?
Yeah,
like, it never fails. And during the draft, we're the type that might draft an O-lineman in the first round or a kicker in the first round. Like, what are they doing? Why are they drafting that? And so I might need to throw a compilation just to laugh at it.
Yeah, y'all were the team that drafted a punter. And what round did you draft Marcus in? It had to be in the second round, I think.
I think Marcus was in the second round because he was the only punter. And
I mean, still though, like drafting a punter is just.
He's been great. Marcus is the best.
No. I'm not dogging on him. The dude makes you guys particularly difficult to play with, kind of like as an offense, just like where you start at. But it's like at the time I remember, because punters were so rare. Yes. It was like, what are they doing? Like, what sort of concept are they going with here?
But our draft is kind of weird though, because our draft is it's not like the regular NFL draft where, you pick your quarterback and running backs and skill position first, and then you'll get your big uglies later and maybe the special teamers in the latter rounds. No, man, our draft is, hey, we only got 2 kickers, 1 punter, 2 linemen, and those guys have gone in the first 10, right? So our draft's it's more supply and demand than that, talent. And so because of that, the O-lineman listening at home, you're bound to be a first-round pick, if not an early first-round pick. If you pick offensive line, if you pick kicker, you'll be picked early. You'll be wanted by everyone. Your DMs everybody's gonna be sliding into your DMs. Everybody's gonna slide into your DMs.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not.
Also, same thing goes for most defensive positions too. Everyone's got demand for something on defense.
I'm glad you brought that up. Defensive linemen, them big boys. We love them big boys over here.
Right?
Okay. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that's the thing. At least when I was the HC or at least the man in charge of things that happen on the field, I always try to be different, season in, season out, just to firstly to make sure that the teams that had to play us can't use what they had before. Like, they had no running back last season. We're gonna be ready to. They got a running back. Oh man, we can't use that, right? So it makes sure that they remain busy, right? So there's no way you could be complacent when having to face us, because what we try to do is different season in, season out, both offensively. At least we try defensively, but you get to a point where you get so many bodies on defense. It's kind of tough now to kind of switch it up and to be new and innovative, and that's a little more difficult. But at least offensively, personnel-wise, we could switch it up. But we're getting to the point now is that we have 23 stars. It's going to be very difficult to be different than other teams, because every position is going to be star-laden now. So,
yeah.
So anything else, gentlemen, that I could kind of help you out with? It sounds like a no. It's okay. But don't forget KYP. Know your Know your personnel. Oh, another thing. Whatever theory you have, defensively, offensively, special teams, make sure you prove it. Put it on the field. Practice scrimmages. Put it on the field. Make sure that it's legitimate. Don't just have a whim and like, you know what? This week we're gonna try too hard, and then you give up a bunch of corner routes and be like, man, why didn't too hard work? But you didn't put it on the field, and you didn't make sure that it would work against this upcoming opponent. So that's two things: KYP and prove your theory always. So, with that being said, gentlemen, if that is all, I'm happy to have had you on the show. Jack, it's been a long time. A long time, brother. Right. And then Taylor, it's nice to officially meet you. This is our first time actually having a conversation. Hopefully it was pleasant for you. It was as pleasant for you as it was for me. So again, so for Jackson Brown, hey, I got it right. For Jackson Brown. And for Taylor Derry Berry. Did I say it right?
That's it.
My dog. I'm Max Paul. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Elite Podcast. Thanks again.